Yeah. That's it. Yes. Yes, that is it. Yes, that's it. And that's it. That's it? Is it it? Is that it? Is it happening? Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's happening. Okay. Paper towels. These were outside on the ground. So what I recommend if you ever have paper towels that maybe touched something, just take off like the first 5 and get rid of them, and you should be good. Should be. You should be good. No promises. I mean, really, no promises on that one. Just saying. I gotta clear that up so I'm always looking at myself. But then I also have to check to make sure it's legit and make sure I'm not making myself look too stupid. So that's a little awkward. I'm working on this bad boy today. See, like right now, I don't know what I'm looking at because I tried to curb my vanity. I tried to slow it down. There we go. The Squidward Tatt. I think we're going to color it in, but we might actually just get to finishing the outline today, actually, technically, because I only went around it once because I got so excited with all the talking that we were doing. And then I was like, well, now I gotta go. I'll color it tomorrow. And then I almost didn't. And I still might not. You never know. Woo-wee! Is it hot, or am I just in a hot place right now? Is it hot, or is it just me? Who knows? Got a few months left until I'm less alone in this house during the day. So I need to take advantage of it and be as loud as possible. Or something. Something's happening. Something's going to happen. And it may or may not have anything to do with me. And what I'm saying right now may or may not have anything to do with reality. I like to hop on before my daughter gets here, but now she's at my sister's house right now. And they're playing on a splash pad. So I've got a minute. I've got a couple minutes. And I was doing I couldn't do it this morning because I have such a slow computer, and somebody wanted me to send them some very high quality footage of a nature walk. So I failed at that a few times in a row. Finally figured out how to make it high quality the way that it was requested. And then once I clicked export, it took like 6 hours just to make a 30-minute 4K video. With no effects. Just video of nature. So that just goes to show how much God's green earth has to offer. I mean, if you just take your video camera outside and try to capture everything that's out there, you're going to find out real quick that you can't. Unless you've got low standards for what capture is. Again, now we're going way off. This is why I stick to tattooing. Because maybe if I got more specific, then maybe the things I say would make sense. But until then, it's just going to be a lot of rambling and waiting until I have a good reason to start poking myself. Oh, there's a good reason, because I want to. All right. I'm going to show you for the first time ever my Rebel box. I got this for $1 at the fish market, or the poor market, the vintage, the garage sale. Fuck, what's it called? The rehab. No, what is it? What's it called when you go to a store and there's a bunch of used stuff, but it's like, hey, I could use some of this stuff. And then check this box out. It's pretty legit, and it has all my junk in it for tatting. For all my tattoo junk. We got my inks in there, and we got buttons to show you better what's happening, and we got a light that's in the way, and we got all my needles and my inks and my lube and my spoons down there at the bottom getting dirty where they belong. So that's pretty fun. and I don't need to shave, and then just in case I need to burn somebody for being a piece of shit, we can do that here. We have that ability here. I'm not going to pull out colors just yet, because right now, I don't even know if I'm going to color. Now I'm going to pull out colors because it's pretty. And again, this is what happens when I just start talking. My yellow's leaking. Everything's leaking around here. I don't know what to do with it. I don't know where to start. My green's leaking. I got ink all over my box. This makes me not want to do colors ever again. I already got Linda basically telling me I shouldn't be doing colors anyways. Basically telling me I need to wait. Oh my god, I'm going to end up with ink on my face if I don't track my paper towels better. Whoo-wee! It is a spicy meatball out there today, folks. Unless you're in Antarctica. Or is it... What's the other one called? There's Antarctica, and then there's... What's the other one? Which one's north, which one's south? Don't tell me. Because it really doesn't matter. I don't even know if those places exist. There's a really good chance that those places don't even exist. Just saying. Or that they're the same place. What if the North Pole and the South Pole are the same place? Is that possible? Probably not. But neither of us has been there. So you can't tell me no. Unless I've got somebody in the audience who's been to the North Pole and the South Pole before, let me know. Because that would be a really cool thing to know about you. That you've been to both the North Pole and the South Pole, and that you could tell me that I'm all wrong about how they're the same place. But does one even have a name? Antarctica. Is the other one just called the Arctic? It's too weird out there. That's why I stick to tattooing. Because I don't know anything like the back of my hand. I don't even know the back of my hand that well. Still learning about it. Every time I look at it, I'm like, did I do that? Or was that already there? What if legend has it that any of the tattoos that aren't on record, that I haven't been trying to that I haven't recorded and proven that it was done live? What if rumor has it that my tattoos were born on me? Because, you know, some people think Darth Maul just looks the way he does. Some people just think that there's a race of aliens that has interesting patterns of skin color, and they're just born that way. That's not the case. Unless you want it to be, because it's a fictional universe. So if you want Darth Maul to be born with those weird black and red marks all over his face, if you want that to not be a tattoo, and for him to be born with it, you can. And if you're that kind of person who would think that, please let me be the kind of person who basically everything up to here on my tattoo sleeve, I was born with that, and now I'm just compensating. I was born this way. I am super gay. I can't control myself. I love sucking dick. I don't love sucking dick. That was just the natural progression of that song. Dude, isn't it weird how, like, every single song in the whole world is basically designed to either turn you on or make you feel like the whole world is pointless? There's a lot of people going around thinking, man, life is just pointless. The world is just pointless. And they don't even know that that thought was implanted in your brain by the man. You know, a lot of people think, I'm going to reject the system because this is all bullshit. That's what they want you to do. They want you to reject the system and think it's all bullshit. Because the system can get you rich. Anybody in the world. You right now. I don't know how I'm going to do it. But I know that there's a chance that if I try and I work hard, I could have enough money to survive. And that's pretty cool. But if I'm going around thinking, man, fuck the system, then I'm giving up all that money to Jeff Bezos. Because then I'm staying at home spending my dividends on deliveries. Not what you want. That's what they want. That's what the man wants. We're not going to play that game. We don't think... We're not the... I have to check this because apparently I'm at work right now. We're not the kind of people who go around thinking that this is pointless. Why would you be poking yourself if you think it's pointless? Because a needle's got a point, right? Or up to 13 points, depending on the size needle that you got. I don't know. I don't know what you're working with. I'm working with one. I'm working with 1 point. There's only 1 point here. And it's to poke yourself. And to have a tattoo. Or something. And to share. And maybe we're here to share. Maybe I need to stop talking and get poking. Because I'm getting a little up on myself. I'm getting all, woo! Look how smart I am! Look how clever I am! Don't need to play that game. Don't always need to do that. I'm going to cover that up too. I keep looking at things on my screen when I should be not. I got to keep wiping my face today. I am so sweaty. And I'm sure it's not going to help with the tattooing, but we're going to see. There's a really good chance I'm not going to color today. And that coloring will be a tomorrow thing. But there is absolutely no chance that I'm not going to tattoo. There is no chance in hell that I'm not tattooing today, because here we are. And I'm so close to tattooing, it's not even funny. It's rarely funny how close to tattooing I am. It's usually not funny at all how close I am to giving myself a tattoo, because it's just pretty standard. You know, funny sort of implies a little bit of unexpectedness. And here I am, doing what I do. There's nothing funny about that. But I am going to tattoo myself. Okay, just some black ink. It's no big deal. I'm just putting black ink on me right now with a single point. And I'm going to put it around that outline of the Squidward that we worked on yesterday. And hopefully it will make it so that, because I think a lot of the tattoo that I have right now, of this Squidward tattoo, is technically, unfortunately, still stencil. I didn't take a shower. So I still luckily have some stencil under there, but I really got to make sure that it's all ink and that it's all under my skin, because if it isn't, then when I go take a shower, I might not be able to see where the rest of the tattoo is that I didn't poke. So we're going to be thorough today. And now I have to worry less about getting the tattoo on there. I can wipe in between, and I can just focus completely on the point, which is this, poking, or something. One of these days I'm going to make sense. One of these days I'm going to make sense, and then you are going to want to comment something about how much sense I'm making. And I would encourage that. I would also encourage you to like and subscribe, because the YouTube how to grow on YouTube.com said, if you're not saying like and subscribe every 5 minutes, you can go fuck yourself. That's what it said. And I am not going to fuck myself today. So I'm just going to keep saying it. If you like Squidward, like and subscribe. This lighting is bullshit. What is happening here? Okay, that's a little bit better. This is a little bit better. I can work with this. I can work with this. Now, I've been getting a lot of comments that are invisible. And I would just like to say to all of those invisible comments, thank you, and I understand. I understand why you would want to keep that to yourself. My daughter is playing on a splash pad, like I said. And I'm gonna tell you guys a little story about what happened at the pool last week. We went to the pool, and there was an emergency. It was not a good emergency. In fact, I was a horrible, horrible dad last week. It's really awkward. And it's going to probably sit with me for the rest of my life. Probably for the rest of my life, I'm going to worry about what happened last week. And I'm going to tell you about it as soon as I build a little suspense on the issue. As soon as I get you thinking, when is he going to tell us the damn story about the pool? That's when I'm going to do it. But until you're thinking that, until you start getting a little frustrated that you haven't heard the pool story yet, am I going to even think about saying it? Until then, I'm just going to keep bringing it up as like a teaser because I think it's actually a very valuable story, and I would really hate to waste a single moment of possible suspense that I could build over it. So yeah, that was fun. We'll get into that as soon as I start poking. As soon as I poke this damn tattoo. So here's where we are today. My twin sister recommended this tattoo. Isn't that nifty? I have to make sure that you can see me because it's the most important thing in the world to me is that I'm seen. There we go. So yeah. How are we? How good is that? That's great. That's great news. I don't like this angle. This is bullshit. I used to be the angle king, and then I started caring about the tattoos, and that's where I really lost it. That's where I really lost track of this situation, is when I started focusing more on the tattoos and less on the camera angles. Isn't that awkward? I always thought I would, sort of be a natural at the angles thing, and that the tattoos I could focus on, and then the angles would come naturally. They don't. The angles will just fall apart if you don't keep paying attention to them. But I got it. Now I'm just going to give myself a shitty tattoo. I guess my tattoos are just going to be shitty because the angles got to be good. Because nobody's going to see the tattoo. When it really comes down to it. What people really see is the damn camera angles. But yeah, we were at the pool, and I really feel bad about... I don't even know how to build suspense. I'm not a professional. I listen to too many podcasts, and I think... I'm constantly thinking, wow, they've got some great suspense building here. And then I'm like, I got to start bringing that to my game. But then I don't know how to do it, because here I am. I'm just going to give it away right up front. So we're at the pool, right? And I'm like, well, my daughter can swim. I have no reason to believe that. I have absolutely no reason to believe that my daughter could swim. But I thought she could. So I let her go in the pool all by herself. And then I'm sitting by the pool, looking right into my own mother's eyes. I mean, I was talking to my mom, right? I thought, I'm doing a good job. I thought, who does this? Who's talking to their mom? Right in their eyes, and just saying things and listening to responses from their own mother. It's not very common, unfortunately. Especially for me. So when I did it, I was like, this is great. This is amazing. I'm being a great dad. My daughter's swimming. My mom can see my eyes. Is there anything better in this world? And then about 2 seconds later, never mind. I'll let you think about that for a minute. Has anybody talked to their moms lately? I feel like a lot of scratchers don't, and that's okay. It's okay to not talk to your mom all the time. But it's not really. We should talk to our moms more. Even if your mom's a cunt. Mine's not. I have an amazing mother, and I rarely talk to her. So if your mom's a cunt, I get it. I totally get it. But, she did bring you here, and it was a lot of hard work. So, you got to give a little bit of credit where credit's due. She deserves it. I feel like a lot of people don't even know you're supposed to talk to your mom. Like they would say, no, my mom's a bitch. Yeah, well, I don't really know what to say to that. Honestly, every time somebody ever told me that their mom's a bitch, I thought, that's weird. That's weird that could even happen. I don't even know how that happens. If somebody's got a mom who's a bitch, please let me know and tell me how it happened, because I don't get it. I don't even understand how you get there. I mean, I understand why you might think she's a bitch. It could be a combination of a bad mood and her being one. If your mom really is a bitch, there's a good chance you're thinking, my mom's a bitch. Mine's not. I have a great mom. I've never had the thought cross my mind that there's anything wrong with my mother. I've always known that she's great. And I still don't talk to her. It's not a good thing. She deserves more talk. That's why moms have kids. Now I gotta worry, is my daughter not gonna ever talk to me because I'm not talking to my mom enough? If that's the case, I mean, if I start being better about talking to my mom, then my daughter better talk to me, or else I'm gonna be like, that was a waste of time. Why did I spend all that time talking to my mom if my daughter's not even gonna talk to me? What is karma anyways? I thought you reap what you sow. I'm trying to get reaped. I'm trying to get... Anyways. I don't talk to my dad that much either. I don't really talk to anybody. Except you guys. I talk to you guys more than anybody. And that should tell you a lot. I should be embarrassed about that, to be honest. Because I don't even talk to you guys that much. But I'm trying to do better. Because I do recognize that you're supposed to. That there is a certain level of, you gotta give it to them sometimes. You gotta give them what they deserve, which is talking. And everybody wants to talk. And when your favorite person in the world, who you raised, talks to you. I mean, I can't even imagine it because my daughter's not an adult yet, but she's really cool, and I think it's really fun and interesting to talk to my daughter about video games or her theories on where fairies live, all kinds of stuff. And so that's fun, but I could only imagine when she's an adult and she's, been brainwashed by the public school system. And now she's telling me all about racism and how I'm problematic. I can't wait for that. That's going to get interesting. And I'll try not to argue. I got to work on not being an arguer before we get to the point where my daughter starts giving me shit for being racist. Because that's going to happen. My daughter's going to start giving me shit for being racist someday. It's unavoidable. And if you have kids and they're not old enough to call you racist yet, get prepared. Don't let them call you racist and then have you say, I'm not racist. That's what you don't want to do. I gotta figure this shit out. What you really don't want is for your kid or somebody you care about to call you racist, and then for the only response you can think of to be, I'm not racist. Because you probably are. So be prepared and be ready when somebody says, hey, you're a racist. Be prepared to say, okay, so what? Because that's the actual right answer. That's actually the proper answer to a racial accusation is, so what? Everybody is. We're all racist. If you're not, there's something wrong with you. You ever met somebody who's just not racist? Awkward. It's really awkward to talk to them. Because they'll start speaking other languages in the middle of their sentence, or they'll try to offer you a dish you've never heard of. And if you ever eat a foreign dish, if you ever eat a meal from a country that you're not familiar with, you're going to find out really quick that you don't know what it's supposed to taste like. And then now you've got yourself in the awkward situation of not knowing if the dish that you just ate was good or not. Because if you eat a corn dog, you know if it's good or not. You know what a corn dog is supposed to taste. If you eat a burger, or maybe you eat, like if you're Linda, you might eat some pickled fish. Some fish that was pickled in hot sauce underground for 100 years. And she probably knows if I were to try to do that, whether or not I succeeded or not. But if I were to go to eat that pickled fish, if Linda tried to make me some 100-year-old underground hot sauce pickled fish, some pickled shark bones, if she pickled a shark fin or something and then fed it to me, I would be completely lost as to whether or not it was good. Because I don't know what it's supposed to taste like. So I could say, that's tasty. And then she's going to look at me like I'm a psychopath because she knows she fucked up the meal. And now she knows I'm either a liar or I'm racist. And you gotta pick. You can't be both. I mean, you can, but it's bad to be both. Really, it's just bad to be a liar. You can be racist and not a liar, and that's okay. So it's not really about the both thing, because you're not going to pick one. You really don't want to pick one. You want to pick racist. If you have to choose between racist and liar, pick liar. I'm telling you, it's the only... No, wait, cut. Pick racist. Don't be a liar. Don't lie. You don't want to lie. Be honest about what you think about people's skin color. If you think it's hot, if you think it's attractive, that's cool. Say it. If you think it's bad, if you think somebody's skin color is bad, I don't care if you're brown and we're talking about a white person, or if you're white and you're talking about a green person. If you think it's bad, you don't go around saying, I like that, because then you're going to get more of it. If you invite aliens into your neighborhood with your kindness, and then now you've got an invaded neighborhood, you really got nothing to say now. You should have been vocal. You should have had the sign in your yard with a UFO and a cross through it. Don't lie. You're going to get what you ask for. So you got to be honest about what you want. It's just because you're afraid that being racist is going to make you not cool. Cool isn't a good thing. You don't want to be cool. There's nothing good about being cool. I keep trying to tell my daughter, every time something comes up and she's like, well, I think it's cool. I'm like, that's right. And cool is a bad thing. Cool means, what it means if something is cool is it's a bad thing that we're pretending is good. So anytime this will apply to how you use the word cool, because that's what it means. It doesn't mean good. We just pretend that cool is a good thing because that's what it is. It's to pretend that it's good. Anything that's cool. Think about it. Think about something that you think is cool. This show. If you think this is not cool, by the way, this is a bad show. This is a bad YouTube stream that we're all agreeing is horrible. At least we're being honest. When you say something is cool, what you're saying is, if you think this is cool, I get it, and I appreciate that. Honestly, I think this is pretty cool too. But yeah, like I said, it still means it's a bad thing that we're pretending is it's too cool for school. It's well, no, that one's tricky because that implies that school is a good thing. School is not necessarily a good thing. But if it's too cool for school, really you're sort of saying that school is cool, but this is cooler. This is even cooler than school. But it's like drugs. Drugs is cool. Being a slut is cool. Rock and roll music, that's really cool. Gay pride, super cool. There's all this stuff out there that is by nature bad, and we pretend it's good, and what you call that is cool. I keep trying to explain to my daughter, and she gets it. That's what I like, is whenever I say something cool, she'll call me out and say, so you're pretending it's good when it's actually bad? And I always check myself, and I'm like, actually, yes. Yes, that is exactly what I'm doing. You ever see somebody with a broken arm? And you're like, oh, what happened? And they're like, oh, I did a backflip on a snowboard and hurt myself. And you're like, cool! Nothing is cool that's just good. There's no such thing. Because I think it's supposed to be referenced to, dead stuff. I think that's just me. I might be totally wrong about the origin of cool. But I think it's for the macabre. I think it's for, like a skeleton is cool, because it's like a dead body. And we're pretending that's a good thing. And that all sort of comes back around to the depopulationists, the global warming environmentalists, where they're like, what we want is people dead so that the earth can survive. That would be cool, is what they think. It's all connected. People think I'm crazy. I'm not. I'm the only one who's not crazy in this room right now. Anyways, it's really all connected. I'll prove it someday. I don't know why I do this. I think YouTube says Show your hands. So I'm like, okay, I'll do it. I'll do it. Chill out. Chill out. Be cool. It's not what you think it is. It's what I think it is. Anyways. I get too excited sometimes. Especially when my tattoo starts hurting. That's when I get really excited. Tattoos are cool. This is cool. Tattooing yourself is cool. But that doesn't make it good. Don't fool yourself. Don't fool yourself into thinking stick and pokes are a good thing. Just because you like it, you can like something and it's still bad, okay? And that's okay. It's really important we got to start drawing these distinctions. We really got to start paying attention to, because they're pushing it. They're pushing the limits of like what is good and bad. Basically, the whole world right now is in a state of thinking nothing is bad. There is no bad. There is no such thing as bad things. What do you mean? What could be wrong about... It's just people. It's just Earth. There's nothing wrong. That's what they want. That's what everybody's thinking right now. They're like, what is this guy going off about stuff being bad? There's nothing bad about tattoos. Yeah, there is. You're stabbing yourself with a needle repeatedly. It's bad, but it's cool. It's really cool. Because it leads to death, just like drug use. Come on, it's so simple. I don't even know why I'm repeating myself so much, because honestly, as soon as I told you the definition of cool, I should just assume you get it, because you're smart, you're a scratcher, and you get it. You just get it. So as soon as I shouldn't have had to do all these examples. I don't even know why I went off on this path. Lying to be cool. You want to be cool? You want to be cool or racist? Because I think being racist is pretty cool. As in, it's probably bad, but I think we're See, this is where it gets confusing, it's like from what perspective? Like, to whom? To whom is it cool? Because basically, I think, man, that's tricky, isn't it? Now I'm confused. I got myself confused. I hope somebody can tell me right now, as soon as possible, what the fuck is going on in my head, so I can clear this up. I like to think that I'll get past this judgmental phase of my life someday, where I focus so heavily on what's okay and what's not okay. God damn it! Now we got these freaking landscapers here, and I keep looking at the screen instead of the camera. You think I'm looking at your titties because I keep elevatorizing. I'm trying to communicate, and there's a motherfucker with a leaf blower outside. It's 100 degrees out, and he thinks he can just go to work today. How cool. How cool. I'm not even going to tell you what race he is. I bet you can guess what race he is. Yeah, that's how I feel about landscapers, because I want that job. Get a suntan and some hard work, and you get everybody driving by thinking, look at that hard-working fella. I would love if people drove by and thought I was a hard-working fella, but people see me and they just think I'm crazy. And then they see my tattoos and they're like, damn, this guy's got some stupid tattoos. Yeah, well, what am I supposed to do? I gotta finish this damn project. Excuse my cursing. Using curse words. That's cool. Cigarettes. Hello. Everybody's always like, cigarettes aren't cool. Yes, they are. Because they're bad for you. And we're pretending that's a good thing. Because global warming. Because people are ruining the world. People suck. Overpopulation. Cigarettes. That's the solution. It's cool. It's cool to smoke. Because you're killing yourself. And then everybody's going to be happy because you're gone. That's not true. That's what they want you to think. Don't let them trick you into thinking, thank you. Thanks for keeping my yard clean. I would do it if he wasn't there to do it. I would do it. But I know he's going to be there, so why am I going to take his job security? He needs that. He needs to come out here and... Anyways, Now we're getting too far off. Crazy. This is what happens when nobody talks to me back. This is what happens when I just talk to myself. And you just get a little crazy sometimes. Don't let them make you think suicide is okay. Don't let them make you think that you don't belong where you want to be. Don't let the motherfuckers who are always coming around, I don't know how to do this. This is fucked. This is all fucked. Oh, jeez. Oh, my God. Am I angry today or am I just on top of things? Neither. Probably neither. Fuck. Does that help? Shit. Don't give up. They want you to give up. Satan. Hello, Satan. Not happening. Not going to work on me. I think it's cool that you're out there tricking people into being sad. Satan, I'm talking to you, because I know you're watching. Satan watches this stream because he thinks I'm ridiculous. And he likes to hear the insight. Satan thinks he's got it all figured out, and then I start talking. He's like, wait, what? Is that me being full of myself? Am I narcissistic? Possibly. Probably even. I'm probably a narcissist. I'm probably a type A narcissist. A narcissistic person. Nothing wrong with that, besides the fact that it's bad. You know, take away the fact that being narcissistic is bad, and you've got neutrality. That's the other. There's all these things. People are like, well, that's just how I am. That's just how I was born. I was born to be a piece of shit who thinks too highly of themselves. Don't be that guy. That's my job. It's your job, I hope, and this is your assignment if you're paying any close attention right now. It's your job to resist that feeling. You are worthy. And dope. You're dope. Hey, that's another cool thing, by the way. Dope. Sick. It's like, that's sick. Hello. Is that a good thing? Is it a good thing to be sick? No. No, it's not. I'm trying to think of some other examples, but those are the only ones I've ever got. That's as far as I've gotten with that theory. But everybody thinks it's cool to be not racist. It is cool to be not racist. They're right. It's super cool to not be racist. Okay? So if you want to be good, if you want to be actually good, have a little racism. Be honest with yourself. You got to be honest. And you're definitely not racist. I don't think anybody is not racist. Everybody's racist. Especially those dang people who aren't white. They're the ones who, they get to be racist. They're allowed to. Because they're like, white people suck. And they're right. White people do suck. So do everybody else. Why is this crazy? That's probably going to get me in trouble. At least I'm not saying the N-word anymore. That day when I was on the Scratchers Post secret stream and I said that word, that day my wife was like, hey, so, you don't have to do that anymore. She told me. She pulled me aside and she said, hey, if you don't want to say the N-word, you don't have to. She was like worried about me. Because I was thinking, I have to now. I have to say it all the time now. I got to stand my ground. It's not necessary. That's what she told me. I think it is necessary. But maybe we'll get there. We'll get back to saying it. As soon as I get kicked off YouTube, once I get fully removed, then I'll start firing off. Because then once you can't take anything from me, I'm gonna get a little cool on you. I'm gonna make you cool. How about that? Oh boy, this is what happens, guys. This is what happens when I just talk, when I just go off. It's not what anybody wants. You really don't want this. You don't want this smoke. I'm telling you. It's not hickory. It's not maple. It's not cedar. It's like paper. It's like empty cigarette paper smoke. You know that stuff? You know when you empty out a cigarette paper, when you take all the tobacco out and it's just that paper, it burns really dirty. It's actually one of the worst parts of a cigarette is the paper. That's the kind of smoke I bring. I bring that empty cigarette smoke. Not the stuff you want. Not the stuff you want to put one of those glass domes over your dinner. You know, in Food Network, when they put a glass dome over your dinner and then they fill that up with smoke. If you fill your dinner up with my smoke, you're going to be disappointed. My smoke's cool. Okay. Randomness. That was fun. We're having fun, question mark? I think so. I'm actually very anxious to color this one in because it's a distinct color that I have to achieve. I have to make it green-blue for Squidward. And everybody knows what color Squidward is. It's like the Netflix red. If I tried to do a Netflix symbol and I did the wrong color red, people would notice, and they would probably start calling me out. And it's the same thing with this Squidward tattoo. If I don't get the right blue-green on this, fuck. Woo! If I don't get the right blue-green on this Squidward tattoo, people are going to notice, and they're going to start saying shit to me about how I didn't do it right. And I don't want to hear that. So I got to achieve the right color. Or, the other option is to say fuck it and just make him any color I want. Right? Like I could just do purple. I could just do a purple Squidward, technically. And if anybody got mad at me, I would basically have to say, you can kiss my ass. So I was hanging out at the pool with my daughter, talking to my mom like a good boy, just chatting with my mom, not on my phone. I was right there in the moment, talking to my mommy, and my daughter comes up to me, and she's covered in water, and I was like, oh, that's fun. Oh, you're covered in water. What were you doing, swimming? Which is what we were there to do. And she said, did you see me? And I was like, hell yeah, I saw you, girl. You were kicking butt out there doing flips or whatever you were doing that I was supposed to see. And she was like, no, did you see me drowning? Not funny. I don't know why I'm smiling. It's not funny. She was like, did you see me drown and get saved by that man? And she pointed over at some guy in red shorts. Not a lifeguard, just a man in red shorts. Apparently, she couldn't get her head above water. Not funny. I don't know why I'm smiling. She could have died, technically. I mean, I think, yeah. I'm basically trying to cover up how bad I feel about it with some possibilities that it could have gone okay. But yeah, she said that she couldn't get her head above water because she only knows how to swim with a life jacket on. And I was a stupid dad who didn't know that about his own fucking daughter. So the other dad who was there, who was actually in the pool paying attention to his kids like he was supposed to, saved her life, pulled her out of the water, put her on the pool deck, and said, go tell your dad he's a piece of shit. And she did. She did a good job at that part. She walked right over, no running by the pool, and she said, Dad, why didn't you save me? You said, because I told her 5 minutes before, don't you worry, girl, if you go underwater, I'm going to save you. So she was like, yeah, I thought you were saving me, and then I looked, and it was somebody else. So she's traumatized. I can't even have my own feelings about it because of how dark her feelings are about it. Because of how far it took her down the rabbit hole of what's happening. I thought my dad had my back, and he didn't in the moment where I needed him most. How awkward is that? So if you've ever killed your kid, or if you've ever failed as a parent, have no fear. Even the stick and poke king Not that doesn't actually give me any credibility. But just so you know, like, I'm a piece of shit. Anyways, I'm not really a piece of shit, but that was a rough moment, and I'm sure a lot of people would actually say, you really are a piece of shit. That's fine. You're not wrong. And I feel like horrible, and I feel so bad about it that I can't even think about it. But I'm glad I get to talk about it with people who aren't talking back to me. Because if you were commenting right now, I don't know if I would be able to tell you that story. It'd be too rough. Because then I would get a response about, like, oof. Someone would probably comment, oof, that's rough, dude. And you'd be right. You'd be absolutely right. So that was my week last week. That's what happens. I'm going to pretend that happened because I wasn't tattooing myself enough. Can I at least turn it around and make it into a thing that causes me to be at least you're honest, bro. Thanks, Kenyon Boyd. I'm trying to be honest. Honest about being a shitty fucking dad. Dude, it is harder than it looks, but it's not really. It's if you just put all of your attention into it, like you're supposed to. If you give your kids all of your attention the way you're supposed to, nothing probably ever happens to them. And then every time you don't pay attention, that's when it gets fucked up. So, I don't feel good about it, but I appreciate that there was in fact somebody listening. So there's that. And if I was going to make a joke about it, if I was going to say something funny about it, I would have something to say about how the guy who saved her was a Mexican. But I don't know how to word that to make it funny yet. It's a little too close to home. But as a racist, that's pretty funny. Because now she's probably going to marry a Mexican. She probably has a complex now about men with white skin. She probably thinks people like her dad, people with white skin, won't save her life. What she needs is a good Mexican. That's probably where she's at, in her subconscious. In the forefront of her mind, in her consciousness, there's no way she's thinking stuff like that, because then she would have to admit that before she got saved by the Mexican man, that she liked white men because her dad's white. And nobody's going to admit that. Nobody wants to admit that we're attracted to people who are like our parents. So that's fine. We'll just ignore that and get right to just how it's just kind of goofy. It's just goofiness, right? No. It's actually very serious. But yeah, so been struggling with that a little bit. And I just gotta never let anything else ever happen again, ever. Ever, ever, ever. Even when she's like a teenager and shit, I have to be like, I'm here for you, girl. I'll save you. Never mind. Wow. There's a weird, dark part of me that was like disappointed. Because it's like, well, that was my moment. That was my one chance. Hopefully that was the one time in my life where I was needed to save my daughter's life. In an actual life-threatening situation. Hopefully, that was the only time. But in part of my head, I was like, oh, I missed my chance to be a hero. That was like honestly the thing that bugged me the most, and I'm ashamed of that. It is quite a shame that that's where my head goes. Even now, I'm like, well, that was my chance. That was my opportunity to be my daughter's hero when she was in a time of need, and I fucked it up. And isn't that just like the most selfish response to your daughter's life being threatened? But yeah, I was just thinking like, man, because I've divorced her mom. I'm not with her mom anymore. And her mom is now with a half Mexican man. So now her stepdad's Mexican. He picked up my slack. And now the guy at the pool who saved her is. So she's gotta fall in love with a Mexican now. There's nothing I can do about it. Even if I wanted to have a say in who she falls in love with, I wouldn't be able to. If I would have saved her at the pool this day, there's still a chance that she was going to marry a white man. Not that I care, or not that I'm allowed to say that I care on YouTube. Maybe on another platform I would tell you my real feelings about it, but no, I have to say I don't care who she marries or what race they are. So anyways, that was the story that I was trying to build up suspense for. I'll figure out how to do... Oh my god, I'm so sweaty. Trust me, the sweat on my face is only partly related to the temperature. I do think a lot of the sweat on my face right now is due to the anxiety of the moment of sharing that story. But that's where I'm at right now. That is what's happened, and there's nothing I can do about that. So, we just carry on. We just move on. You know, when I talk about how bad I feel about it, nobody's ever said, you shouldn't feel bad about that. I am dripping sweat right now. That's pretty cool. That's how hard I'm working. Nobody's ever said, you shouldn't worry about what just happened at the pool. They all say, well, try not to linger on it too much. And I think that's a very nice, honest reaction to that story is, basically, yeah, you should feel bad. I should feel bad. But it doesn't help to feel bad. It doesn't aid me in any way to continue having bad feelings about it. The only thing I can do now is go forward, knowing that I have the potential to be a piece of shit. Knowing that I have the full potential to not be there when I'm needed. And be aware that I'm not just superhero. Because, if you go through life and enough things don't happen, if you make it through enough of your life without any emergencies, you can just sort of think, I'm a superhero. Nothing ever happens to me. And if it does, then I'm sure I'll be there for it. I guess maybe you, this would never happen to you. And if you're the kind of person that would never happen to, I'm glad to know you. And you should let me know, and we'll become friends, because I need more people in my life who that would never happen to. But apparently that can happen to me. I've made it through most of my life without a lot of emergencies. I don't remember anything bad happening in my life that would make me need to learn how to manage an emergency and be there for it and be aware when it's happening and when your fucking daughter's in the pool. I mean, that's the one place. Shit, it's like I let her go swim in a river and then she got swept away down the river. So basically, the mindset that I've taken on the whole situation is, at least that Mexican man was there. At least there was somebody there who had enough goddamn sense to be in the pool with the kids that could save my daughter. Because if I wouldn't have learned this lesson then the next time we go swimming, and I didn't know that I need to be right next to her at all times, if I didn't learn the lesson from this instance, then something could happen down the road that I wasn't prepared for. So at least, that's basically the best I can come up with. Was that I needed that little kick in the butt from reality so I could pay more close attention. And where's my daughter now? She's on a splash pad at my sister's house. I don't know how good my sister is at taking care of kids on a splash pad. I hear you can drown in a pickle jar. So a splash pad has more water than a pickle jar. So who knows what's happening right now? Maybe I should keep her on a live stream. Maybe I need to get a GoPro on my daughter's head and live stream her life constantly, so then when she's not with me, I can be constantly watching. But then, I'm far away. And that's what happens. That's just part of what happens when you have a kid with somebody that you're not going to spend the rest of your life with, and now you're split attention and split time, and everybody's learning at different rates, and it's tricky out there. So just I don't know. I don't think there's anything you can learn from this except fucking it can happen to anybody, I guess. But you're probably like, that would never happen to me. Good for you. If it would never happen to you, congratulations. I'm fucking jealous, because I always thought that. I always thought nothing's going to happen to my daughter because she's got me. And then, boom. Now, was I still technically right? Is it still technically true that nothing is going to happen to my daughter? I mean, nothing happened that time. She was drowning. She was in the worst case scenario possible. And there was somebody else there to save her. So, in a way, my assumption that everything's going to be okay was true. And that's basically, I mean, it's really awkward, but that's what I had to tell her. That's how, because she was in bed that night. She was thinking, like, she asked me multiple times before bed that night. She was like, "Were you going to save me at all?" And I was like, "Girl, I didn't even know." And I was like, "It probably would have been okay. You probably would have, maybe you would have gone unconscious and floated to the surface. Maybe it happened right before I looked, and I would have seen you, and then I would have got you a second later than that person did. But likely," and I don't know, I didn't know how to explain it to her. I was like, "Dude," I was like, "My girl, my little beautiful angel, basically, God's looking out for you. That's basically what happened. I wish I could say that it was going to be okay no matter what." And in a way, yeah, I mean, that's the tricky thing, is like, look, she's okay. There was this, isn't that strange? Isn't that tricky? Because it's like, yeah, sorry, because it basically is actually what the main problem of that event was, is that I wasn't the one who saved her. Even in her mind, because the way that she tells the story is, I thought my dad was saving me, but it was somebody else. Her story isn't, my dad didn't save me, it's that somebody else saved me. So, I mean, maybe there's some, I basically just told her, like, "Girl, God has your back. I pray for you every day," which I don't, unfortunately. I do not pray for my daughter every day, but I should. And when I do, I actually don't. I pretty much just pray for myself, so maybe that's something I should work on too. But, by praying for myself, I am sort of, because since she's the most valuable thing in the world to me, when I say, "Dear God, please protect me," in a way that extends to my family. But maybe I should be giving, I should at least probably, I didn't even say thank you for that. I said thank you to the man in the red shorts, but I didn't, give him props. And I also didn't say sorry for not paying attention. So after this stream, I'm probably going to do a little prayer about how I'm a piece of shit and I don't deserve his grace, but thank God. Thank you, God, for your grace, because a sparkle in the eye of a Mexican man with red shorts saved my daughter's life. And I don't know. I mean, so I told her, she was in bed that night, she was like, "I thought you were going to save me, and that guy did." And I was like, "Yeah, well, you know how I'm always saying that God's always watching and that God's going to protect you and God's got your back." She was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Well, that was an angel. You were saved by an angel. God protected you in that moment because I wasn't there. And just so you know, I'm never going to take my eyes off of you ever again if I can help it. Now I've learned my lesson." How do you explain that to a kid? Hey, like, "Hey, sorry, I learned my lesson." They don't need to worry about that shit. My mom was there, and she basically, because she saw me panicking that I missed it, that I didn't save my daughter, and my mom was like, "Hey, kids learn how to swim." That was her answer to the situation. She said she probably would have figured it out if that man didn't save her. Now, that is a very positive outlook on the situation. But a lot of kids drown. Like, it does happen. Not funny. If you have a kid who drowned, I'm sorry. So it was a little awkward. But that was, instead of my mom saying, "Well, it looks like even though you weren't there, the universe is there to protect your daughter," She didn't say that, because then I would have had some questions about how I can know, because that was my daughter's response when I told her that, you know, basically I just wasn't I wasn't there. Because she kept asking, like, would you have saved me if he didn't? And she's very smart, and she looked me right in the eyes. So I couldn't say, oh, yeah, I would have totally had your back, girl. If it would have been really awkward if I was like, no, yeah, I totally would have got you, because she knows. She knows what happened. She knows what it looked like when she got out of the pool and nobody noticed that she had just been saved. So if I lie and I say, no, yeah, I totally would have had your back, it wouldn't have happened. Nothing would have happened. You know, that guy just happened to be the one who saved you. It's kind of stressful for a little brain to be like, wait. So I just have to rely on the universe? Because I tried telling her what my mom said about how, like, well, you probably would have figured it out. You probably would have got above water. And she looked at me, she was like, no, I was not going to figure it out. I was so scared. I could not swim. I was like, boy, this is awkward. So I just had to tell her, like, you know what, honestly, Luna, I'm really embarrassed that I didn't save you. And that was my job. It was my job to save you. And like they do, that man in the red shorts from another country took my job. And I had to go, you know, God is watching. And if I'm ever not watching, you can rest assured that he is. And that he's got your back. And she looked at me like, well, I guess that's fair. Because she was like, okay. And she still had some trouble getting to sleep that night. But she did have a moment of recognition of like, okay, I hear that. Like, yeah, my dad's not protecting me. I want to cry about it, by the way. This all sucks. It's really awkward, this whole conversation. But she basically had to, you know, come to terms with the fact that we're living in a dangerous world. Her dad's powers are limited. But it's still okay. We're okay. We all learned our lesson. I mean, at least I did. She didn't. She's a child. She doesn't have to learn lessons. That's my job. It's really awkward how slow I am sometimes. But basically, I was like, at least God's got your back. At least God was watching and he sent that Mexican man to save you. I didn't tell her he was Mexican. She only noticed the color of his shorts. So I can sort of hope deep down that she didn't even catch his skin tone. That she doesn't even have a correlation between her dad being white and that's why he didn't save her. That'd be awkward. And maybe someday she'll take a drug and go through a drug-induced psychotherapy session where she realizes this moment. I mean, she's gonna remember it. It's gonna come up again. We can all be fucking basically sure that that's the kind of moment you don't forget. I mean, she's 6 years old. She's almost 7. She's turning 7 in January. I've got memories from that age. If I had a life-threatening moment when I was that age, I'd probably remember it. So I just have to deal with that now. Basically, I just have to be. I just have to know that I'm not perfect. I'm not Superman like my mom tells me. My whole life, my mom's been telling me, you're Superman. And I think, actually, that's fair. Maybe I am Superman because Superman makes mistakes too. He's not God. Superman tries to save. Let me look at Spider-Man. Spider-Man, hey, you know what? Honestly, if Spider-Man can break Gwen Stefani's back with his web slinger, because he doesn't he's supposed to be some physics nerd and a superhero, and he still broke Gwen Stefani's back, then maybe me as the stick and poke king and the father of the moon, that's my daughter's name is, maybe even I can make mistakes. Not funny. It's not funny, but it is true. So anyways, I'm going to wipe this thing and get out of here. I didn't even want to talk about that today, but you guys, when you don't tell me what to talk about, this is what you get. You get a little bit of honesty from me, and that's not necessarily fun, but like Kenyon Boyd said, at least I'm honest. I knew somebody named with the last name Boyd who I have a very big problem with. So if you're related to Akita Boyd, tell her to fuck herself, because she ruins a lot of lives. And I'm sure you don't. I'm sure you made my life better today that your comment actually does make me feel better. It's the only one I'm looking at right now. And I'm like, that's a nice comment. So congratulations for that. You made my day better. If you're still listening. You don't have to tell me, but I'm going to wipe this thing and get out of here. This thing. I think it's black enough now, but it might actually not be. But that's okay. Because I'm just tired. I'm sweaty. It's hot. And believe it or not, I have work to do. Whether you believe me or not, this isn't the only thing I do. Wouldn't it be crazy if this was all I did? If I could just tattoo myself every day? And if it was somehow useful enough to people that that's all I would have to do? Every day? Wouldn't that be cool? Maybe someday. Probably not. Probably I'll have to do a combination of things to provide enough value in this world to not have to do things I don't want to do and still be able to eat and have a roof. But for now, I gotta go do some shit that I don't want to do. Including seeing if I can upload 17 gigabytes of video. 17 gigabytes of video, and it's just 30 minutes of walking around in the woods. That's how big God's plan is if you just walk around in the woods for 30 minutes on a 2160 by 3120 shot, that's 17 gigabytes. Can you believe it? 60 frames per second. You got this, dude. Learn to be better and move on. I believe in you, bro. I'll take it. You know what? I'll take it. I appreciate that, and I will, and you should too. To whatever it is, I'm sure that you haven't made anywhere near the level of mistakes that I just made, so I'm sure you already know whatever it is that pops into your head, and to everybody else, whatever it is that pops into your head and makes you feel ashamed. If I can get past almost letting my daughter drown, maybe you can get past that. I don't know. Just do better, like Kenyon said. Learn from our mistakes. Who knows? Who knows what this is all about, but we're trying. Anyways, I'm going to log off now. I really appreciate you coming in, dog. Thank you. That makes me feel better. So the emojis and all, I'm like, thanks. That's exactly what I needed today. See you next time. I'll be back tomorrow, I hope. I keep saying it, and then every day I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it today. But then we're going to do it. I'm going to try to do this every day. It's better. It's better if I just do it as much as I can. But anyways, alright. Thanks. Tattooing. Be tattoo. Be not cool. Be good.